Spurs, man. I'm just taking this nature walk and thinking about the 2025 NBA draft. I cover the Philadelphia 76ers. I cover the Philadelphia Phillies. I cover the NBA playoffs. I also cover a little bit of boxing. So if you're interested in good vibes, consider subscribing to your boy. Now, let's get straight to the top of this video. Let's get straight to the topic of the video. So, should the 76ers trade up to the second overall pick with the San Antonio Spurs in the 2025 NBA draft? Should they trade up one spot? Mind you, the Sixers have the third overall pick. The Spurs have the second overall pick. The only reason why they would do this is if that's that guy that they want. I don't think they're trading up to the second to get Dylan Harper. Even though the Spurs might draft Ace Bailey. You know what I'm saying? But just to make sure they get the guy that they want, they might trade up to that second spot to guarantee getting the guy that they want besides Cooper Flagg. Now, Dylan Harper has to be the guy that they're trying to get, right? They're engaging in talks with the San Antonio Spurs to trade up to the second overall spot. Now, there's a lot of speculation. I don't even know if this is rumors. I think this is a fact. I think this is true. And if it is true that they're trying to trade up to the second overall pick, I got mixed feelings. One part of me is like, yeah, let's do that. The other part of me is like, let's just stick and pick, man. I like Ace Bailey's upside better than Dylan Harper's upside. But I understand both aspects of the situation. What's going on, AJ? Shout out to my guy. It's not a bad idea, but I don't know why it's so hard to draft Ace Bailey. I don't understand it. Maybe 4 guards could work. I don't know about that, bro. So let me give, and by the way, everybody in the building, make sure you double tap, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But this is the part that I like about it, right? Dylan Harper is a straight up bucket. Dylan Harper is underrated defensively. I think he's a good defender, but I think he could be a great defender for his size. I think Dylan Harper is debatably the best overall offensive player in this draft. He can hit the three, he can hit the mid, he can drive to the lane, he can switch up his pace when he's driving to the lane, change of speed, he can break you off the dribble. I like Dylan Harper a lot, right? He's 6'6", and I would love that, to be next to Tyrese Maxey. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't know if Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain is a good 1-2 punch at the shooting guard and point guard because of the size, because of the defense. Because I'm thinking of the defensive element. When you're going against a Tyrese Halliburton, when you're going against a Nembhard, when you're going against taller guards like SGA, I'm pretty sure you will put our small forward on SGA and all that, but just the fact that you got to make sure that switch happens, you're not going to be able to guard SGA. Tyrese Maxey has no chance against SGA. Jared McCain has no chance against SGA. Now, if you have a Dylan Harper, I'm just using him as an example. If you have a Dylan Harper that's 6'6", you might not have to switch all the damn time on defense, and you have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a Jared McCain on SGA or Tyrese Halliburton, it might not work out the best. If you have Tyrese Maxey going against SGA or Tyrese Halliburton, it might not work out the best. I'm keeping it real, and I'm a diehard Sixer fan. And I'm not saying Tyrese is a bad defender. It's his height that's not the best going against those top-end shooting guards and guards, man. But this is the thing, and I'm gonna get to y'all comments shortly. Make sure y'all double tap, hit the like button. This is the thing. I like Dylan Harper in those aspects, right? But the problem with drafting a Dylan Harper, right? I don't know what you got to give up to get him. The problem with drafting a Dylan Harper is you're going to have to put Jared McCain on the bench, which might be a good thing. Him being a sixth man of the year, he might win it. He might be that dude like Manu Ginobili. But I understand both aspects. I understand. But what do you have to give up to go get a Dylan Harper? What do you have to get? What do you have to give up? So are you giving up the 2028 first round pick unprotected? What are you giving up? Are you giving up? Do you have to give up Jared McCain? Do you have to? What do you got to do? That's my biggest thing. What's going on, Scott? All right, so let me get to the comments. So I don't want to give assets just to draft. The draft. They're not going to draft Bailey. If they move up to the second overall pick, they're drafting Dylan Harper, bro. I don't think they're going to draft Ace Bailey at 2, unless they really want to make sure they get Ace Bailey. But I don't think that's happening. I think Dylan Harper is going to the Spurs, even though they got a lot of guards. Just my honest opinion. Pelicans are wanting Ace. I don't know if I want to trade too far back because I don't want to mess around and lose out on Ace. I don't want to lose out on Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. That's the top end of the draft. Those are the two realistic players that we can get. I'm not, and I like Trey, I like VJ, but those are the two guys I want the most, besides Cooper. Locked on Sixers are right. Carmelo PG and the Hammers praising Bailey. VJ, and that means something. Hold on. Locked on Sixers are right. Carmelo, Paul George, they're praising Bailey, not VJ. Okay, I got what you're saying. My whole thing is this. I'm not trading up. This might not be the popular decision for some Sixer fans because a lot of Sixer fans think that Ace Bailey is going to be a bust. A lot of Sixer fans, for some strange reason, think that Ace Bailey is not the guy. I don't know what's going on with that. I think a lot of people are just followers and they just going by what people say and they just going by their analytics and not with their own gut feeling, what their own eyes are telling them. Bro, you can't just go by what everybody else says. Oh, Ace Bailey is going to be a bust. He's going to be a bum. He's not going to be good. Like, bro, where are y'all getting this from? Before the hype about Dylan Harper, it was Ace Bailey and Cooper Flag. That's what it was. Mike, we need a wing defender. I wouldn't mind trading for Herb Jones and number 7. Listen, I understand that, but I'm not going to choose Herb Jones in the number 7 overall pick over a potential player that could be Tracy McGrady. I'm not doing that. I don't know if the comparisons are correct. I'm not saying they will be, but if they're anything close to Tracy McGrady and Ace Bailey turns out to be that guy, who you rather have, a Tracy McGrady or a Jones? Herb Jones. Listen, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm not trading back that many spots and missing out on Ace Bailey. It's either Dylan Harper, for me, this is what it goes for me. The order. Dylan Harper, number 1, and it's like, it varies though. It varies on depending on the day, because I like Ace Bailey a lot as well. Dylan, Ace, Trey. I got Trey over VJ. I'm one of the only few people that says Trey, in my opinion, is over VJ. People think I'm crazy, but we're going to see in a couple of years and see how who's right and who's wrong. I might be wrong, but we'll see. Number 3 pick, we need a lockdown defender in a wing position. I think Ace Bailey could be that, bro. I think Ace Bailey, but people are not trying to give him a chance. People think that just because you get more players and go back, like for instance, right? I like Jones, but at the end of the day, why would I take a chance on losing out on a franchise player for a role player that's not going to be an all-star? I'm going to lose out on a potential player of a Tracy McGrady caliber, not Tracy McGrady, a caliber, the potential for a player that's a role player. And then at number 7, who you drafting at number 7? You going to draft who? a center? Who are we drafting? I don't know if Trey's going to drop that far. Now, if you get Jones and you get Trey, I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with that. But I don't know. I try to. We need. And I'm not. And that's why it's called team defense. Team defense. So if Joel Embiid is healthy, if Ace Bailey can get developed defensively and be that guy that's 6'9", 6'8", his wingspan is what, 7 feet. He could be that guy. Also, Paul George is a solid good wing defender. We're gonna see what happens, but I'm not trading a franchise player for a role player. Feel like Maxey is above average defender. I don't know about above average. I think he's average. Ace Bailey is the next Kwame. Oh, you think he's the next Kwame Brown? Wow. The players beyond 5 aren't that great. Halliburton is also above. Yeah, and I believe Maxey too. I don't know about Maxey being above defender. I mean, I say he's a solid defender, but I'm not going to go above average. I gotta see a little bit more from that guy. Mike is wearing the Sixers logo. Like, what's up? Mike is wearing the Sixers logo like a Roman emperor. Hey, listen, I don't know, man. I be doing that. I don't know what it is. Ace Bailey will be, excuse, I got someone that's on the trail with me, so I'm not really sure what the heck just happened. Excuse all that. Ace Bailey will be a stud. Only clowns don't see it. Honestly, I'm going to say this right now. If the Sixers trade up and draft Dylan Harper and he becomes the guy like Markelle Fultz 2.0 or Ben Simmons 2.0, I'm going to say this right now, and Ace Bailey turns out to be a franchise player, listen, I might mess around and leave the Sixers franchise, bro. I'm not going to sit here and cap. I'm so over this overthinking. We're overthinking. Everybody thinks Ace Bailey is going to be a scrub. I don't understand where this is coming from. Are we watching this? Are we watching different film? Are we watching different games? Oh, he's going to take 3-4 years to develop. What are y'all talking about? What am I missing? What am I missing when I watch Ace Bailey's film? What am I missing, y'all? What am I missing? Why is everybody trying to say that Ace Bailey's going to be a scrub or he's not going to be good? He's going to be the next Kwame Brown. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But where is all this coming from? Honestly, I'm starting to really want to just stick and pick more than anything because I just want to honestly, I'm to the point I want to prove everybody wrong. I want Ace Bailey to be a Sixer and prove everybody wrong because I'm tired of hearing all this, oh, he's not ready. Oh, he can't be the guy that can go in the game right now and just give us something. I'm not saying he has to be an all-star first year. Cooper Flagg probably won't even be an all-star his first year. Not many rookies are all-stars their first year. It's going to take time. They got to get their build right. They got to develop a little bit more. But to say that Ace Bailey is going to be a bust, to say he's going to be the next Kwame Brown, come on. First of all, Kwame Brown was the first overall pick. Ace Bailey's going to be the third overall pick. So that comparison's not even right. I would be better. You're better off comparing Ace Bailey to a Markelle Fultz. You know what I mean? He was the first overall pick. I mean, Jahlil Okafor, my bad. Jahlil Okafor. That's a better comparison at this point. Jahlil Okafor didn't plan out. What's going on, Marty? Funny. They said the same thing about Kwame. You know what I mean? We need to downplay Bailey and trade down to Charlotte and get access and then draft. Nah, he's not going to make it. He's not making it, bro. I don't know what pick Charlotte is. Ace is getting drafted top 3. He's not dropping past the 3rd spot. I don't care about all the hype about VJ Edgecombe. I don't think anybody's passing up on a potential player of a Tracy McGrady caliber. I don't see it. I think they'll be crazy to do that. By the way, everybody in the building, make sure you double tap, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you for all your support. I'm about 8 subscribers away from hitting that big 500 subscriber mark. So if you haven't already and you're enjoying the vibes, consider subscribing. I'm a Sixer fan. I cover the NBA players. I cover the Phillies as well. I'm going to cover a little bit of boxing as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Is there a chance that Harper falls to their... If that happens, then you got to draft Harper. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'd rather just draft Ace Bailey at 3, bro. Like, it's getting a little bit crazy. I can't wait to the draft because I want this to be over with, bro. Because I'm tired of... Listen, I never heard so much dislike for a player in a long time. Even Ben Simmons got more love than Ace Bailey. Ben Simmons was compared to Magic Johnson. He was compared to LeBron James. And Ace Bailey, in my opinion, has a way better offensive game than him. Way better. Maybe not defensively, but way better offensive game and has the potential to be solid on defense as well. He's a better overall player than Ben Simmons, in my honest opinion. And I'm talking about rookie Ace Bailey. I'm talking about rookie Ace Bailey. Yes, Ben Simmons had the great defense. In the fast break, he was amazing. But y'all can't tell me that Ben Simmons got all this love. And I know it's the first overall pick compared to the third overall pick, but I'm just saying. But you're going to give all this hate to Ace Bailey that has a way better offensive, he's way more versatile offensively than Ben Simmons ever was. And he hasn't even stepped on the basketball court in the NBA. He's way more versatile. And you got Paul George. You got multiple great players throughout the history. I like Paul George, but y'all know what I'm saying. Paul George saying he's going to be good. Multiple players saying that Ace Bailey is going to be good. They know basketball more than what we do. They play it at the highest level. Ace Bailey is the guy you can grow with. VJ is not going to get much better. You can grow with VJ is not going to get much better than he already is. His ceiling is low. Would you rather have T-Mac? Yes. Or Alex Caruso? Heck yeah. That's what I'm saying. And I don't even think it's going to be 5 years. I don't like comparing players to all-time great players. But I think he's going to be T-Mac or T-Mac-like. You know what I mean? There's never going to be another T-Mac. But he could be T-Mac-like in less than 5 years. I'm not saying he's going to be on that level, but he's going to be similar. He's going to be similar. How many championships does Tracy McGrady have? Tracy McGrady never won. But that doesn't mean that he wasn't a great player. He just went against better teams. Even Kobe Bryant, the great Kobe, if y'all know who Kobe Bryant is, RIP to one of the GOATs. Kobe Bryant said out of all the players that he went against, he said Tracy McGrady was the hardest player to guard. There was nobody that had the versatility of a Tracy McGrady. And I'm paraphrasing what Kobe said. Look it up. Look up the interview when he said the hardest player to guard was Tracy McGrady. And that says a lot. If it's coming from Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players of all time, it's not that. And people knock players for not winning a championship. Just because you don't win a championship does not mean you're not a great player. My favorite player of all time is the great Allen Iverson. Who gonna tell me? I debate anybody. I would debate 1,000, 2,000, a million, a billion, a trillion people. Y'all not gonna tell me Allen Iverson is not a great player just because he ain't win a championship. Just because you ain't win a championship doesn't mean you're not a great player. Charles Barkley never won a championship. He's a great player. There's multiple players that couldn't win it because they was going against better teams, going against better players. Michael Jordan stopped a lot of players from winning. Reggie Miller never won a championship. What we gonna say, Reggie Miller is not a great player? There's multiple players that never won a championship throughout the NBA history. But that does not mean they're not a great player. There were just greater competition, greater teams, greater players than them. I'm just keeping it real. Like Allen Iverson didn't win it because the Sixers didn't build around AI. Mike Streets, what's up, bro? Thank you, bro. Sixers fans keep adding losing players. Paul George is losing player also. I can't even disagree with you with the Paul George part. Daryl Morey knows talent, so why is he passing on it? I don't know if this is a game he's playing. I don't know what the heck is going on. Nobody really knows. Everybody's speculating. If he's trading up for number 2, I'm assuming he's going for Dylan Harper. If that happens, I will be happy, right? But at the same time, you're not re-signing Quentin Grimes. You're probably going to try to sign Yabusele. You got too many guards. I don't know. Who's going to get the minutes? Jared McCain, what? You going to have Dylan Harper come off the bench? Like, what are we doing? So, I don't know how they're going to do it. I would have Jared McCain come off the bench, have Tyrese Maxey start. I'm not having Tyrese Maxey come off the bench. So, it's not happening. I don't know. But I kind of almost want to go for the underdog story and go the Ace Bailey route because all this doubt when it comes to Ace Bailey. I don't know where it's all coming from. Ace got to impress the Sixers. Well, he going to have to impress, but if they got their mind made up, it don't matter what he said. It don't matter what he do. If they're really engaging in talks with the San Antonio Spurs to get the 2nd overall pick, bro, their mind is made up, bro. Their mind is made up. Depending on how serious the talks are. Because they could be talking to him, but they might not be serious. They're probably just like, yo, we just want to just conversate. What would it take to get it? But they're not really serious about trading up for that 2nd overall pick. You know what I mean? They're just seeing what could happen, what they would have to do. What would they have to give up? Yeah, Ace Bailey is a rare type player. This is Jason Tatum, Markelle Fultz, all over. This is what I'm starting to feel like. This is starting to feel like that, but I try to be careful to compare it to that, but I did compare it to that. But my whole mindset is, I think Dylan Harper, I just think he's made of some special stuff because his father is who he is. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a better overall player than Markelle Fultz was, even though I think Markelle Fultz was a very, very good prospect coming out of what school did he go to? I forgot. But Markelle Fultz was very, very good. But I don't think he was close to Dylan when it comes to the defense aspect of the game. And I love two-way players. I put two-way players over one-way players. And not to say that Markelle Fultz didn't play no defense, but I don't think his defense was all that in college. And then when you talk about Dylan, his defense was solid. And everybody hating on Ace Bailey, oh, well, they couldn't get their team to the playoffs. Well, wasn't Dylan Harper on the team as well? They make it seem like Dylan Harper wasn't on the team. Like, come on, bro. If we draft VJ, I really want to let Grimes go because Grimes needs research. Yeah. The same people who want Ace Bailey will call for Daryl Morey's job. And that's true. And it's the luck of the draw. It's the luck of the draw. Don't nobody really know who's going to plan out. But in my opinion, I think the dude that's 6'9" that can make jumpers over anybody, he has underrated handle. I don't care what, listen, just my opinion. His handle's underrated. And just think about it. You had a co-star like Dylan Harper that had the ball a lot in his hands. You know what I mean? Ace Bailey could play with the ball or off ball. He could, his shot is pretty decent when it comes to his three. I forgot what his percentage was. But I just feel like, I think it's beyond a 7-foot wingspan, 6'9", can make tough shots over anybody. I'll take that, bro. I'll take that Ace Bailey. I'll take that Ace Bailey over most of the players. Besides Cooper Flagg and maybe Dylan Harper, I'm taking Ace Bailey over any of the other players. Dylan Harper's iffy to me because I really do like Dylan Harper. So it's like I wouldn't be 100% mad if the Sixers went and traded up for Dylan, but they got to make sure they figure out this whole Quentin Grimes stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then it's just like, what are you giving up? Because it goes both ways, right? If Ace Bailey turns out to be a superstar and be similar to Tracy McGrady, we're going to be like, dang. But what if it works out both ways? Kind of like the Luka and the Trae Young trade. Trae Young ain't Luka, but Trae Young is a Hall of Famer. Let's keep it real. When Trae Young retires, regardless of what anybody thinks, I'm telling y'all right now, Trae Young will be in the Hall of Fame, in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's a very good player. Luka's going to end up being in the Basketball Hall of Fame as well. So that trade turned out well. It turned out better for the Mavericks, but still. And then they got rid of Luka. They got Anthony Davis, and then they got the first overall pick. We're gonna say that for that conversation for another day. They go about to draft Cooper Flagg. So it all worked out for the Mavericks. It all worked out somehow, some way. It worked out for the Mavericks getting the first overall pick in this draft. But my point is, it's just like it could work out for both teams. So just because we move up to the second spot, draft Dylan Harper, and what if Ace does become a superstar? But what about our guy? What if our guy turns out to be a superstar as well? So it doesn't mean that just because, it doesn't mean one or the other. Like, oh, well, this guy's going to be good, and then our guy's going to be bad, or our guy's going to be good, and the other guy's going to be bad. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. It could be everybody turns out to be good. Not saying that's going to happen, but at the same time, it could be a possibility of that happening because both players are very, very good in my honest opinion. It depends on what you want. I like Ace Bailey. I like Dylan Harper for different reasons. But at the same time, it depends on what you want. And what do you think your team needs more? And who you speak to is going to give you a different answer. One person might think Dylan Harper is the perfect guy for the Sixers. Another person is going to be like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather just get Ace Bailey. Somebody might be crazy enough to say, oh, forget all that. Give me VJ Edgecombe. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. If we, the same people who read that, VJ played with Carmelo's son in high school, and he still gave Bailey praise over VJ. Wow. Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, Bailey gonna be something. I think Dylan's gonna be something as well. I consider leaving this fan base if we trade Maxey or McCain. Heck yeah, or draft VJ. Honestly, I look at it like this: we're not even supposed to have this pick, and I am just thankful that we have this pick. But why is it so frustrating having this pick? Why is it frustrating being a winner by getting the third overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft? I'm gonna tell you why. Because we got some fans saying, oh, player's a bust. And they don't even have a clue if that's going to be reality. Like, they calling him a bust before he even steps on the floor in the NBA. And it's like, damn, do you see the same film I'm seeing? Then you got another group of fans that's just like, man, it's never a middle ground. It's never a middle ground. Just because you want a player over another player doesn't mean that the other player is going to be a bust. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's never a middle ground with some fans. It's just like, oh, well, this guy's going to be a freaking bust because I want Dylan Harper. Or this guy's going to be a bust because I want Ace Bailey. Or this guy's going to be a bust because I want VJ Edgecombe. Like, nah, it could be a middle ground. You get what I'm saying? I concur. I saw that interview. It's crazy, bro. What's going on, Grasshopper? Dude, it's all about chips. Yeah, it is all about chips. But at the same time, there's a lot of great players that don't got chips. I'm not taking away from great players because they don't have a chip. It is all about chips when you talk about when you want to be a top 20 player, when you want to be a top 10 player, when you want to be, because nobody is going to be a top 10 player without championships. Nobody's going to be a top 15 player without championships. I understand that. But that doesn't take away from a lot of players' greatness if they don't win the chip. Because I'm going to tell you right now, do y'all remember Carmelo Anthony? I wasn't the biggest Carmelo Anthony fan, bro. I didn't like Carmelo like that. I ain't going to sit here and lie. I loved his game, but I didn't like him when he went against the Sixers. Because you know why? Because I respected his game so much. He was cooking us every single time he went against the Denver Nuggets. Do y'all remember the Carmelo that was on the Nuggets? Before Allen Iverson went to the Nuggets, do y'all remember the Carmelo Anthony that was on the Nuggets? He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, bro. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Does not mean he didn't have a great career. I could keep going on and on about players that didn't win that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. That doesn't take away that they're a great player. If you're talking about all-time great when it comes to top 15, top 10, I understand that conversation. But that's not what I'm saying right now. I'm talking about just great player in general. You know what I mean? T-Mac battled Vince Carter, Iverson, Kobe. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people act like T-Mac was going against scrubs. Oh, he ain't win a championship, so that means he's not an all-time great. Like, come on, man. Stop the cap. There's many players that haven't won a championship. I don't go as far back as Charles Barkley, but I watched a lot of replays. I watched a lot of highlights and how Charles Barkley played. Charles Barkley was that dude back in the day. But he can't get the credit because he didn't win a championship. He a top 75 player, hands down. Out of all the NBA players that ever played in NBA, Charles Barkley is definitely a top 75. I don't know where you rank him, but he's definitely up there. Y'all ain't gonna tell me about AI. Y'all not gonna tell me about Tracy. Y'all not even listen. Vince Carter, come on, bro. We can keep going on and on, bro. We can keep going on and on. Check your DMs, bro. When you get, I will, bro. What Sixers up to now? They engaging in talks with the San Antonio Spurs, and there's rumors that they're trying to. I think they're trading up with the Spurs to go get a Dylan Harper. That's my honest opinion. That's what I'm thinking. By the way, everybody that's in the building, make sure y'all double tap, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I cover the Sixers, the Phillies, the NBA playoffs, NBA news. I'm going to cover a little bit of boxing. And even if you're not a Sixer fan, you're enjoying the vibes. And even if we disagree, I'm not going to agree with everything what people say. You're not going to agree with everything that I say. And even if, and listen, sometimes you're going to be wrong about stuff. Sometimes I'm going to be wrong about stuff. You know what I mean? Don't get too butthurt. We just vibing over here, and we keeping it real over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's how sports is supposed to be. You know what I mean? You can't agree and be a yes man to everything people say. Everybody, you know what I mean? That would suck if everybody thought the same. It'll be boring. Philly got lucky with Jalen Hurts. Ace Bailey is not Jalen Hurts. You know what's crazy? See, I'm not an Eagle fan. I'm a Viking fan from Pennsylvania, but Jalen Hurts was a guy I followed in college when he transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma. And I remember the Eagles drafted him second in the second round. And I was the one putting some Eagle fans on. I said, yo, y'all drafted a dog. And people were like, oh, he can't throw. He's not that good. His accuracy is this. Now what? Now they can't say nothing to me. I'm like, how do I know about your players more than you know about your players? And I'm not even an Eagles fan. I'm not even an Eagles fan, and I know about your draft picks more than you do. You don't even, like, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm not Mr. Know-It-All, but I knew a little bit about Jalen Hurts. I followed him in college, and I just sensed his grind, his energy, his heart, his ability to make something out of nothing, ability to put his team on his back when the game counts the most. That's the thing that Jalen Hurts showed me when Jalen Hurts was playing in college. Now that he's in the NFL, it's on a whole nother level because he has a whole team around him, and that's why they won their Super Bowl. And the unfortunate truth, as a Vikings fan, man, is the Eagles are still a good team. The Eagles got a very good team. That's the unfortunate truth. I'm admit, even as y'all see the Viking jersey on, even as a Viking fan, I admit that them Eagles is something different. And Jalen Hurts makes the team flow. He doesn't have to be a Josh Allen. He doesn't have to be a Patrick Mahomes. Guess what? He beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Not saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes, but he beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And I see a turtle, y'all. I see a turtle right now. Hold on, y'all. I want to show you this turtle real quick. I don't know if it's a snapping turtle, but he's just sitting here chilling. He's just sitting here. Look, this is the trail, y'all. Right, I'm walking this trail, and the turtle's just right here, right by the trail. I don't think it's a snapping turtle. But yeah. What's going on, Rise Opinion? Don't matter. Shout out to you. He played in Washington. Right. Drafting Ace Bailey will finally get rid of Darren Murray. Oh, my gosh. Darius Garland or Trae Young. I got Trae Young over Garland. You see all those NBA scouts predicting Ace Bailey becoming a bust. I don't care because NBA scouts be wrong a lot too. NBA scouts try to say that Ben Simmons was going to be LeBron James. NBA scouts try to say the so-called professionals said that Ben Simmons was going to be the next LeBron James, the next Magic Johnson. I don't want to hear about NBA scouts. I'm going by my opinion. I'm going by what I'm seeing on the film. Not saying I know more than what they know, because everything is just like a guess at the end of the day. At the next level, you can watch all the film you want. It's luck at the end of the day. It's the mindset of the player. Sometimes it's just a lot of luck, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, a lot of scouts try to say that, oh, he's going to be the next LeBron. He's going to be the next Magic. Stop the cap. Not even close. Not even close to that type of player. So let's keep it real. Let's take the full context of what we saying when it comes to these players. Some of these professionals don't know it all. Yes, they do be knowing some stuff. I'm not going to sit here and lie. And they're probably going to know way more than me. I'm going to give myself some credit. They probably going to know a lot more than me because they got more connections. They got more stuff they can look at. But at the end of the day, I know what my eyes seen. I didn't even want Ben Simmons out of that draft. I wanted Brandon Ingram. I looked at Brandon Ingram as the guy that I wanted. It's a plane right there. I wanted Brandon Ingram, y'all. Not to say he's so much better than Ben Simmons, but I like him better than Ben Simmons. Even though Brandon Ingram is injury prone, I like him better than Ben Simmons. Yeah, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Yeah, bro, Melo is also a losing player. I understand if you want, like, when it comes to winning a championship, they haven't won. But to say that they're a losing player, like as if they were like no good, that's cap, bro. Respectfully, I disagree. I disagree. The mindset of that's kind of like, what's it called? Your mindset is close to great players. I'm not talking about the all-time greats, but I'm talking about great players in general, man. Like, your mind's a little bit closed if you think Carmelo Anthony is just a losing player. He was a good player, man. He was a good player. Carmelo was a loser, but he's still elite and one of the best scorers ever. Can I get a birthday? Oh, shout out to my guy Jewel Swinney. What's going on, man? Happy birthday. My birthday isn't till December, but whatever. Ben Simmons is still. You funny, bro. You funny. Criticism, and he is a champion and been to the Super Bowls twice. Guys put Josh Allen over him. Exactly. Like, people want to say, all right, so what we going to say? Is Josh Allen a loser because he hasn't won a Super Bowl? Is Dan Marino a loser because he haven't won a Super Bowl? You want me to go down the list of football players that haven't won a Super Bowl, bro? Is Adrian Peterson a loser because he hasn't won a Super Bowl? Is Randy Moss a loser because he haven't won a Super Bowl? Just because you didn't win a Super Bowl, because there's bench warmers. Let's put it in full context, right? There's bench warmers that won a Super Bowl. So what, you going to put the bench warmers over a player that's great because he got a Super Bowl, but he never played no minutes? He didn't play one single minute in the playoff run, but he's over a Hall of Fame player because he has a Super Bowl. Because he has a Super Bowl. So you're going to put a bench player that hasn't done anything to win that championship or to win that Super Bowl over a player that's a Hall of Fame player. Come on, man. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is good, though, in the Super Bowl. You can't take it away from him. I don't care what nobody says. Who's the Super Bowl MVP? I'll wait. Who was the guy that made all the clutch throws and he was the leading rusher on the team? It wasn't Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. It was Jalen Hurts. It's not about throwing for 300, 400 yards a game. It's about winning the game. It doesn't matter on how you get the touchdown, on how you get the yards. If you got to use your feet, if you got to use your legs, if you have to use your same thing, same difference. If you have to use your arm, whatever way it takes to win that Super Bowl, that's all that matters. As long as you win it. That's all that matters. As long as you win it, that's all that matters. There's not a special way, oh, I got to throw it for 500 yards to get a Super Bowl. Josh Allen is a very good quarterback. He is not a loser. He just has to go against Lamar Jackson. He has to go against Joe Burrow. He has to go against Patrick Mahomes. He has to go against the AFC that got a lot of great quarterbacks. And even if you get to the Super Bowl and you lose, does not mean you're a loser. Because you got there. I don't care how good your team is. If you put in the work and your quarterback did his thing and y'all still lose, just the better team won that game. The better team won that game. The playoffs is a one and done type deal. That's why when you talk about NFL playoffs, it's like the best team sometimes does not win the Super Bowl because they might go on a run. They might go on a run and just beat everybody because they just hot at the time. Like, I'm going to use an example, right? The New England Patriots, when they had Randy Moss, was breaking all the offensive records. And then they went against the Giants in the Super Bowl. The Giants were the underdogs. Ain't nobody going to tell me that Eli Manning is better than Tom Brady, right? And guess what? It happened twice. He lost twice to Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He was making the clutch throws and everything. I'm keeping it real. They had that defensive line, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck. This goes on. It takes a complete team. But the quarterback gets most of the shine and most of the blame. Sometimes it's not even the quarterback's fault why they lose, but they will get the blame. Sometimes it's not even most of the fault that the quarterback won, but they'll get the shine. You feel me? It goes both ways because it's the top position. I don't even know why I'm talking about football right now, but I'm just saying in general. Why would you trust media guys over guys who actually facts? Mike, pull up. No, I can't. I don't got. I'm out at the park right now. Michael or yeah, it's Michael. My name's Michael. Kenny Pickett won a Super Bowl, but he ain't better than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people make it seem like, oh, if you won a championship, oh, you're better, you're a winner. All right, first of all, if you was a bench warmer, you didn't even, and you're not the biggest part of the reason why they won the championship, how is he better than a Hall of Famer like a Allen Iverson or a Tracy McGrady or a Vince Carter? The list goes on. Michael Jordan stopped a lot of players from winning championships, man. Michael Jordan messed up a lot of people. I'm keeping it real. Once he got past the Pistons, it was over. There was nothing stopping Michael. And then you got to talk about Tracy McGrady. He had to go against the Spurs too, with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. Like, Tracy McGrady was going against teams that were all-time great teams, bro. That's why he couldn't win. Tracy McGrady did have the best player he ever had on his team was probably I think Tracy and Vince played on I think they played with each other for like a year. I think if I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But I know the best player that Tracy played with was Yao Ming, I think. Dude, it's like you're happy to finish in second place. Nah, I'm not happy. I want to get a championship. All I'm saying to you is you have to open your mind, open your horizons a little bit. And just because you never won a championship, I'm talking about players. Yes, I want my Sixers to win a championship. I want my Vikings to win a Super Bowl. I want my Phillies to win a World Series. I want the Flyers to win the championship. I want everybody, the union, whatever. But at the same time, when you try to say that players that don't win championships are not great, that are losers, you're saying, I think that's a little bit out of context. You're not taking everything into consideration. What competition did they go against? Who did they have to face? Just because I'm saying that players are not losers that are in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean that I want my teams to finish in second. I'm just talking about specific players. The reason why some of them haven't won championships is because of the teams that they played on wasn't good enough, and the competition that they played against were just better. Just keeping it real. Yo, what's up? What's going on? Lockdown straps. Walter Clayton Jr. won college. Facts. Grant Hill. That's another one. Oh my gosh. Grant Hill. Man. Like, real talk, man. Grant Hill was a straight up dog. They said he was going to be the next Mike. Hold up. Who they say is going to be the next Michael Jordan? Well, Michael Jordan got drafted before him, right? I'm pretty sure, right? I think that's what it was. They comparing him to Michael Jordan. Grant Hill was amazing. Hardaway was amazing. There's a lot of great players, man. A lot of great players. Oh yeah, Grant Hill. Okay, yeah. Right, Grant Hill. Right, was with T-Mac. Okay, I got you. I like Grant Hill. I do put Grant Hill over Yao Ming, but he got hurt. But Yao Ming is definitely a close second, though. Yao Ming, I think people forget how good Yao Ming was. Yao Ming was that dude, man. For his size to move the way he did, to dunk on Shaquille O'Neal, to just do fadeaway jump shots at his size, and he was a good player, man. I wonder how he's doing. I haven't heard about Yao Ming in so long, man. I wonder how he's doing right now. Hopefully he's doing all right. Daniel, what's going on? Happy Thursday. T-Mac played with Vince. Okay, so I was right. Okay. Yeah, so T-Mac played with Vince, and they didn't even know they was cousins. They're cousins, y'all. They didn't even know they was related. I think if they would have found out that they was related, they would have probably tried to make that work, try to stay on the same team. I think a Vince Carter and a Tracy McGrady would have been a nice little combination, 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? That would have been a nice little 1-2 punch in Toronto, man. Toronto, man, they messed that up. They could have won a championship way before they won it with Leonard and all that. If they would have somehow kept T-Mac and Vince Carter together, they would have won that, bro. Iverson is a loser, too. We should have drafted Kobe. Oh, my gosh. Hey, listen, bro. We're going to have to agree to disagree, bro. If you're talking about loser when it comes to not winning a championship, okay. But if you're talking about overall career, you're dead wrong, bro. You're dead wrong. You're wrong. He's not a loser. I don't agree with that. Rebrand to Michael Sports Vibes. Michael Sports Vibes. I could do that, though. That's a good idea. What are your thoughts on the Knicks? Do you think a Giannis trade would? I think Giannis going on any team would be excellent. Giannis in New York would be crazy. I think KD in New York would be crazy. I think, yeah, that would be a great little move. Not little move, but I like it. I think it could possibly get it done when it comes to being close to winning a championship. Giannis is a way better, no disrespect to Towns. He's a way better player than Towns. He's more clutch. Even though Towns is more talented offensively, he has more in his bag than Giannis. But Giannis, what he has offensively in his bag, is more consistent and he gets the job done. See, Towns, I like Towns a lot, but he disappears a lot in a lot of games, and I like Towns. Very talented all-around player. But the man's he's not a better defender than Giannis. He's not more consistent offensively than Giannis. And I think Giannis going to New York playing with a Jalen Brunson would be it'll be a very, very good look for the New York Knicks. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Jalen Brunson is going to be the point guard, which he will be, he better throw that ball down to Giannis. You got to feed Giannis. You got to feed Giannis, man. You cannot let this man just be sitting there on the block or just not getting the ball in his hands enough. He needs just as much shots as you, or probably more. That's how I look at it. So he got to make sure he feeds the beast. A lot of players can't even sniff the finals. But my homie is saying that they're all losers. Like I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I just feel like it's very hard, not making excuses, but I'm being honest. It's a fact. It's not easy to win the finals. You got to beat a team 4 times out of 7 throughout the playoffs to get to the finals. Your team has to be healthy. Your team has to be on point. You have to be on point. And then your opponent just might have the edge over you. I'm just keeping it real. For instance, the NBA Finals that we're watching right now. Let's talk about the NBA Finals real quick before I get off this live stream. Between the Thunder and the Pacers. Let's really talk about it. These are two of the deepest teams in the NBA, hands down. Can anybody disagree with that? These are two of the deepest teams in the NBA. Two of the deepest. I'm not saying that the Cavs weren't deep. I'm not saying that the Timberwolves weren't deep. But these two teams that are left from the East and the West in the finals right now are two of the deepest teams, meaning they got multiple players that can get in the game. They got a bunch of, and I'm not comparing like the game, but they got a bunch of minor Ginobilis that can come off the bench and produce at a high level. You get where I'm going with this? Like, when it comes to the Thunder, I wish they would give Isaiah Joe more minutes, but they're not giving him too many minutes. But my guy, Alex Caruso, coming off the bench, was absolutely amazing in that one game. And Wiggins, coming off the bench, was absolutely amazing in not this last game, but the game prior, game 2. And then when you talk about the Pacers, when you talk about Benedict Mathurin giving you 27 off the bench, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get production like that off your bench, and who was the other player that was, and TJ McConnell giving you energy off that bench, and then you got a deep team in your starting 5. Everybody in your starting 5 is productive. They can play defense and offense. They're not just a one-sided player. When you talk about the Pacers, when you got Tyrese Haliburton, I think he's a superstar, plays both ends of the court, both sides of the ball. The best pure point guard in the game when it comes to facilitating and scoring. The combination has a crazy floater. No, he's not going to score 30 points a game, but he's clutch in the fourth quarter, hitting game winner after game winner throughout the playoffs. Then you got Siakam doing what he's doing. Siakam's been amazing all playoffs. All playoffs, he's been amazing. Then you got Nembhard. You got Nesmith. You got multiple players. Then when you go to the Thunder, SGA, the regular season MVP, doing what he's doing. Lou Dort doing his thing. Very good three-point shooter and a very good defender. Holmgren. Oh, I forgot about Miles Turner for the Pacers as well, but he had a good game at the end of the game, game 3. He had 5 blocks. But getting back to the Thunder, you got SGA. You got that guy, Jalen Williams. You got that guy, Lou Dort. Can't think off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of all their players. But man, Kobe has Shaq and other help. Right. Kobe won without, but he did win without Shaq though. He did win without Shaq, but you acting as if Paul Gasol wasn't a great player. I'm not putting Paul Gasol over Shaquille O'Neal, but Paul Gasol was amazing. What's his name? Metta World Peace was amazing. He had a team behind him. Not to take nothing away from Kobe, because Kobe's one of the GOATs of the NBA. Hands down, Kobe's one of the GOATs of the NBA. But I'm just saying, man, why you think KD wanted to go to the Warriors, bro? He went to the Warriors because he said, yo, we lost to him in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think I could win with Westbrook, which I thought that was corny to me. I thought KD should have stayed with the Thunder. But that's another story for another day. KD went to the Warriors because he's like, yo, I just need to I definitely got to get a chip on my resume. But the chips, yeah, it looks good on your resume. But you had to team up with a Hall of Famer like a Steph Curry. Green's going to be a Hall of Famer. People forget about Klay Thompson as well. People act like Klay Thompson wasn't that dude. There was a debate at one point that Klay Thompson could have been the better shooter than Steph Curry. It's not a debate now. But at one point, there was a debate that Klay was a better shooter overall than Steph Curry. I know that sounds crazy, but at one point there was a debate. It's like he went and won them chips and he was the MVP of the finals, but you kind of take away a little bit because it's just like, dude, you had to team up with a Steph Curry, a Green. You had to team up with a Klay Thompson. You had to team up with all these dudes to win. You had a whole dang all-star team to win a championship because you couldn't get past the Warriors. And on top of that, you didn't think you could get past LeBron James, bro. LeBron James was scaring a lot of people. You could say what you want about LeBron James and this and that, but dudes was teaming up because LeBron was destroying these dudes, bro. I understand he lost a lot of finals or whatever, but still, he lost he lost 6 finals. But still, LeBron had these dudes teaming up. These dudes was like the Avengers. These dudes was like, whatchamacallit? Like the Justice League. These dudes was scared. Kevin Durant left Westbrook, and people forget how good Westbrook was. Westbrook was a straight up dog. For him to leave Westbrook hanging to go play with Steph Curry, it's like, my gosh, bro. You had a whole all-star team, bro. It's kind of like what LeBron James did to get his first championship. This guy went to the Miami Heat to win his first championships. He couldn't win with the Cavs. He didn't think he was that dude. He didn't have that it factor. He had to learn from D-Wade. He had to learn from one of the best two-way players that ever played the game of basketball. One of the most clutch players that ever played. He teamed up with Chris Bosh and D-Wade, bro. And yo, it counts on his resume. But I'm going to tell you right now, the one that really counts to me, they all count. For LeBron James, the one that really counted was again when he went back to the Cavs. When he won it with the Cavs, I was like, yeah, that right there. I like that more. I like that championship a lot more because he really he went back to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. I understand they were good players, but it ain't nothing like a D-Wade. People forget how good D-Wade was, bro. But my whole point is this. Just because you don't win a championship doesn't mean you're not a great player. And some dudes that do win championships, even some of the Hall of Famers, they had to go to a dang on all-star team to win a dang on championship. So in my opinion, it takes a little bit from them winning a championship. A little bit. There's only one team that I don't take nothing from because they were late in their prime. They was late in their prime. They wasn't early in their prime. They did it the right way, in my honest opinion. Was when KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce teamed up. They was like late in their prime, though. When LeBron teamed up with D-Wade, that was prime. That was like their prime, bro. When KD teamed up with Steph Curry, that was their prime, bro. For real. Oh, what's up, Sarah? Yeah, it's insane. I get you, teacher. I gotta gain facts. That's why I don't respect KD and yeah, I don't respect that ring. I'm sorry. I don't care that he's the MVP. I mean, I do respect his game. I do respect that he was clutch. But dog, you had to team up with a whole all-star team, bro. You ain't want to work with your homeboy Westbrook. You wanted to leave your homeboy Westbrook. You was talking all this, man, I'm trying to stay. Then all of a sudden, you, out of nowhere, you going to go to the Warriors, bro. That's why listen, I respect KD as a player, but I didn't like that, bro. Iverson was a selfish player who never practiced. Kobe loves practice and who got chips. That's not true, bro. You don't really know what you're talking about, bro. I'm sorry. You don't know what you're talking about. Why do you feel like Allen Iverson never practiced? Well, just because one interview? Y'all, some fans really just be saying stuff, man, what they be hearing, but they don't really know. They don't really know. You think Allen Iverson became an all-time great player because he never practiced? You don't think he put work in the gym to get to where he's at, what he accomplished? That's crazy talk. And Kobe, and listen, I'm not taking nothing from Kobe. Put Shaquille O'Neal with Allen Iverson in his prime and see what happens. You don't think Allen Iverson would have won a championship? First of all, Allen Iverson got a Sixer team that wasn't even all that to the NBA Finals in 2001 without one single All-Star, really. Do you remember that? When he went against Shaq and Kobe. There was no second best go-to guy on the Sixers offensively. It was Allen Iverson, Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, Dikembe Mutombo. The list goes on, but none of them dudes was really all that offensively. So for you to say that Allen Iverson didn't practice, he was a selfish player. How was he a selfish player? just because of what you hear, he's a selfish player. First of all, Allen Iverson, he even said in his interview, he said, yo, people think I'm ball hogging, but when I pass them the ball, they pass me the ball back. So if there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock or 2 seconds left on the shot clock, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to get a shot clock violation or am I going to shoot the ball? And that goes to show you that there was no other guy besides Chris Webber that he played with. He played with Chris Webber, and Chris Webber was out of his prime when they got him. He didn't have another go-to guy. It was Allen Iverson and everybody else. So that's just not. I don't agree with what you're saying. LeBum teamed up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He teamed up. Yeah, he teamed up with D. I respect when he went back to the Cavs, but I didn't respect LeBron when he went to with the Heat. I didn't respect that, bro. It still counts. People gonna say, oh, he got championships. All right, whatever. But dog, you teamed up with D Wade, bro. You teamed up with Chris Bosh. It wasn't organically. Like, I can understand if LeBron James was really like, because he really was that great. He's a great player, right? Why didn't you make D Wade and them come to you, bro? You want to be compared to Michael Jordan. No, Michael Jordan didn't leave Chicago. Everybody that wanted to play with Michael had to go to Chicago. He wasn't leaving Chicago. He was not leaving Chicago. He said, yo, anybody want to play with me? I don't know who the GM was of the Chicago Bulls back then, but he wasn't leaving Chicago. I don't think there was ever a rumor that Michael Jordan wanted to be traded, or if he did, or there was trade rumors that he was going to get traded for somebody. I don't think there was ever rumors. And I respect, but let me say this. I'm not saying all this to come at LeBron or Kevin Durant. I'm just saying, my point is, there's levels to the game. When you do have championships on your resume, you become a top 20, top 15 player, depending on how many championships you get. But just because you don't have a championship on your resume does not take away from your greatness as a player. There's so many great players that I don't consider losers just because they never won. You don't become a great player and be a loser at the same time. I don't believe that. There's so much competition back in the day. You know what I mean? So much competition, bro. The Cavs team was, I'm glad Cavs, loser mentality. Cavs won because Draymond got suspended. And that's another thing. That was a crucial thing. And after they lost, they went and got Kevin Durant. Which I don't blame Steph Curry and Green and Clay for wanting LeBron to come. Not LeBron, KD to come. I don't blame him. I blame KD because KD should have been like, yo, I'm trying to beat y'all dudes. Where's the competition at, bro? Where's the revenge factor? Listen, I'm not team. You know the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. That he gave up, bro. He said, I'm gonna join them, bro. People forget how good Westbrook was when he was with the Thunder. People forget how good that team was. James Harden was the 6th man of the year. James Harden was coming off the bench, bro. Kevin Durant was doing his thing. They had a great nucleus. They had a great nucleus, and KD gave up. KD said, I'm going to the Warriors. I didn't like that. He said, that's you're entitled to your own opinion. I feel like you don't have an open mind. You don't have an open mind to really talk about this type of stuff. Because if you was to go to any great player and say you're a loser, I promise you wouldn't say it to their face. I promise you wouldn't say it to their face. I promise you wouldn't say nothing like that to them. You're a loser. You never won a championship. I promise you wouldn't say that. Just because you don't win a championship doesn't mean you're a loser. But you got trolls and people that don't put the full context of the full story into consideration. They just think, oh, if you ain't win a championship, you're a loser. That's cap. I think the championship when he won with the Cavs was legit because Kyrie Irving wasn't Kyrie Irving. I'm gonna keep it real. Kyrie Irving was good, but Kyrie Irving wasn't sniffing the playoffs without LeBron. Kyrie Irving was very, very good. They wasn't good enough until LeBron said, I'm coming back home. All right, brother. I mean, I look, listen, I don't know what your goal is. I know you always have trolls on YouTube channels, but my goodness, bro. Like, it's out of control. Like, yes, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Mike, nobody was coming to... I understand it, but if you that dude, why not go to Cleveland, bro? You can have the whole offseason to go back to Miami. If that's what you like, the party life, go to Miami in the offseason, bro. But if you're trying to be an all-time great, bro, listen, come to Cleveland. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was gifted enough to be an NBA basketball player, and I was a good player, and I was an all-star player, I'm not going to these dudes. I'm trying to beat them. I'm trying to beat them. I'm not going to play with these dudes. If you want to come play with me and you want to have them conversations at the All-Star weekend or the game, oh man, you should come. No, I'm gonna say you should come where I'm at. I'm not leaving I don't care what team I'm on. I don't care what market I'm playing for. I'm gonna say, yo, and we have them conversations. Hey, LeBron, if you want me to play with you, you gotta come to Cleveland, bro, or whatever team I'm on. If you want to play with your boy, you gotta come to my team, bro. That's the only way. Only way I'm playing for any of y'all, if y'all come to me, come to my team, or if my team just trades me out of nowhere. That's the only way it's happening. We gotta agree to disagree, Mike. Yeah, okay. All right, I mean, I get what you're saying, bro, but your mind is, you think your mindset, you thinking too small when it comes to, like, you talking about players being losers that never won a championship. You think, like, a lot of players are not, oh, I don't know what, oh, that was a rabbit. I'm like, what is that? But just because you ain't win a championship doesn't mean that you're just considered a loser. That's crazy. Steph has won without, yeah. Steph is cool. He won one championship without KD. My problem is with KD for leaving Westbrook. You went to a whole dang on all-star team, bro. You went to an all-star team. Yeah, so having a championship doesn't really matter. Yes, that's what my point is. Like, just because you win a championship doesn't mean you was a big part of that championship run. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not getting on the floor, oh, I got a championship. Bro, you didn't even get on the floor. What did you do besides being a cheerleader on the dang on bench? But you got more championships than Charles Barkley. So that makes you better than Charles Barkley or Allen Iverson? Yes, they never won a championship. But if you look up their whole resume, they still have a great resume. They still have a great resume, regardless. I get what you're saying, bro, but your mindset is we're going to have to agree to disagree, bro. I understand where you're coming from. Yes, you got to win a championship. Yes, that's what we want. But I'm just calling you out when it comes to you saying that players are losers because they never won a championship. You know how many players Kobe Bryant and Shaq probably stopped from getting a championship? You know how many players Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili stopped from getting a championship? You know how many players Michael Jordan stopped from getting a championship? The list goes on. Magic and Kareem, you know what I mean? Like, you know how many players didn't win because of those dudes was just dominating the NBA? Just because you never won a championship does not take away from your greatness of a player. That doesn't mean you're a loser because you never won a championship. Yes, it would make them their resume better. if they get a championship, which I wish they would. I wish they did accomplish that, but at the same time, that doesn't make them a loser. Know what I mean? Because if you want to be technical, if you want to really get into it, let's think of it like this. I'm putting LeBron James in it, and I'm just putting it in this conversation for this situation right here with what you're saying being a loser. LeBron James got to the NBA Finals 10 times. How many times did he win? How many times did he lose? He won 4. LeBron James won 4. LeBron James lost 6. So he lost more than he won. So does that mean he's a loser? No. He got to the he got to the finals 10 times, bro. People take away a lot from LeBron. I mean, I understand some of the wins was against all-star. Some of the teams that he won with was all-star teams. I understand that. But at the same time, you still got to win. So I do give him credit. And every team that he won the championship with, he was the best overall player. Not the closer, but the best overall player was LeBron James. Even with D-Wade on his team, he was better than D-Wade, in my opinion. Even D-Wade said he's the best player. He's pretty much the guy. D-Wade even gave him that much credit. Chris Bosh said the same thing. Look, we're going to get as far as LeBron takes us. I'll be the finisher. LeBron, you get us there. You get us there. Kind of like with the Lakers. Hey, Shaquille, get me there, bro. Kobe's like, I'll finish it. Shaq, you get me through the first 3 quarters. I'll do what I do, but I'm gonna let you handle it for the most part. And when that fourth quarter comes, because you know what they was doing with Shaq, hack a Shaq. He could have hit free throws consistent enough. But what did Kobe do? Kobe finished it, man. Kobe was like, I got this. He said, would Jordan still be this popular without chips? No, heck no. I'm not saying, you're missing my point. You're missing my point. My championships make your resume so much better, obviously, bro. What I'm saying is, that doesn't make you a loser because you haven't won. That's all I'm saying. You're saying that they're losers if they never won a championship. Of course, Michael is 6-0 and never went to a Game 7. Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, in my honest opinion. Some people say LeBron, I say Michael. But of course, he wouldn't be as popular if he lost in the finals. That's common sense, bro. But my point to you is, just because you never won doesn't mean that you're not an all-time great player. When you win chips, you start getting into that top 15. If you're already a great player, when you start winning championships, you start getting in that top 15, top 20, whatever. Oh man, you're repeating yourself, man. You're just repeating yourself. I'm repeating myself. I'm not going to sit here and keep repeating myself. But respectfully disagree on what you're saying. I think you honestly get where I'm coming from. You just don't want to admit you just don't want to take in context what I'm saying. I think you truly understand what I'm saying. But even though I feel like you're wrong, and I think you know you're wrong, because I don't think you believe players are losers just because they never won a championship. I don't think you really really believe that. But maybe you do. Maybe you do. But shout out to everybody that's in the building. I got a lot of respect for y'all, and I'm just hoping this NBA Finals goes to Game 7. I actually want the Thunder to win Game 4, because if the Pacers win Game 4, and they're up 3-1, I think the Pacers are going to win it in 6, not in 5, in 6. But if the Thunder win Game 4, I got the Thunder winning in Game 7. Because I don't believe if the Pacers, if the Thunder lose Game 4, I don't believe the Thunder could win 3 straight dang on games. I don't believe it. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. I just don't believe that's going to happen. I don't believe it. I think the Pacers are they've been so disrespected all playoff run, including myself. I underestimated the Pacers. I ain't going to sit here and cap. I said Pacers ain't doing nothing. I was wrong, and I admit when I'm wrong. This team is deep. But I honestly want this to go to Game 7, or let's push it to Game 6 at least, bro. I don't want this to be over too soon because I'm enjoying great basketball play. I actually really love what I'm seeing. Even as a Sixers fan, I wish my Sixers were in the playoffs. Maybe next year they'll make it if they're healthy. And that's a big if. But I hope this series goes to 6 or 7. But that's all I got to say, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell Bull. I'm like, yo, just Allen Iverson is a great player. I'm not saying, listen, he might not be a top 20 player. He might not be a top 15 player. But you can't say that his man's not a great player. He's a loser because he ain't never won a championship. There's bench warmers that got championships. Dudes that never played in the game got championships. They're not better than a dude that's a Hall of Famer that never won a championship. But that's all I'm going to say about that. But everybody in the building, make sure y'all double tap to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to my first 500 subscribers on this channel. I'm roughly 8 subscribers away from that goal. I cover the Philadelphia 76ers. I cover the Philadelphia Phillies. I cover the NBA playoffs. I'm going to cover breaking news for the NBA. If it's big news, like the Luka trade. I also will be covering a little bit of boxing. So if you're into boxing, I plan on going live for the Tank versus Roach fight 2. I'm not sure when the fight is, but I plan on going live for that game. Yeah, like Randy Moss, great player. What we gonna say? What we gonna say? Randy Moss is not an all-time great player because he ain't never won a championship. He got to the Super Bowl 2 times. He just never won. Terry Owens is a great player. He never won a Super Bowl. What we gonna knock him? Dan Marino, great player, never won. The list goes on. It don't take away from the greatness, though, in my opinion, when it comes to being in the Hall of Fame. It might take away from them being the top dude, like the top guy. Like, I don't think there's anybody above Tom Brady because he just won so many dang on Super Bowls. So even though he lost a couple, he won so many. So he's definitely going to be above them all. But at the same time, that's rare though. There's not many players that can do that. And he was just better than like everybody. And he had a very, very good coach. He had a very good team. He had a very good defense. And some of the and I'm not taking nothing from Tom, but some of the Super Bowls that they won, their defense was so freaking dominant. And yes, Tom was clutch. Tom Brady got his team within the within 1 minute into field goal range and got the game-winning field goal to win Super Bowls. Many Super Bowls. I don't know how many, probably like 3 or 4. I don't know. And I'm not taking nothing away from Tom, but it's just like it's just sometimes it's luck too. It plays into it. There's only and it's a team sport. But I understand both when it comes to when you win championships, it just makes your resume look so much better. It puts you on the top 10 list, the top 15, top 20 list. If you never won a championship and you're an all-time great, you're in the Hall of Fame, you're probably not going to be a top 20 player. Maybe. It just depends on who you are. Like Tracy McGrady's probably going to be a top 30 player, top 40 player. I don't know where you ranked Tracy McGrady, but he's still a good player. Ewing, yes. Right. I just want Ace Bailey to be a Sixer in 13. Facts, bro. Pacers in 6, Indiana Def and coaching is better. Whew. Ewing, Barkley, yes. Facts. Malone, Stockton, right. For real. Sixers will 2029. Nah, we winning it this year, bro. We not waiting until 2029. We won't win it in 2025, 2026 season, bro. All that you talking about teacher got game is cap. It's cap, bro. We winning it this year coming up, bro. This NBA season coming up. After the finals, we win in the next finals, bro. That's how I look at it, bro. Clarissa, yeah, for real. I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you. But all right, y'all, I got to get off this live stream. I know y'all don't want to hear me yapping all day. But shout out to each and every one of y'all that's in the building. Appreciate you vibing with me. And as always, God bless and be easy. Be safe. I'm out.